Can you hear me? Whew. Can anybody hear me? Jesus. Okay, thank you. The time delay is very frustrating on my end. Very, very frustrating on my end. Okay. Where was I? I don't know. Loretta, hello. Linda, hello. Super Dave, hello. Laura, hello. Killer Drums, hello. Linda, oh, I said hello. Tully. Silent Green, hello. Silent Walk, hello. Okay, good, 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 good. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. Well, Babe is saying that I've missed Babe. Oh, I missed Babe. Babe. Can you hear? It's so low. It's so mournful. His meow. Okay. Go on out. Meow. Okay. So, yeah, well, a whole lot. Everything is heating up now. And I really hope that all of you have a support network, whether it's family, whether it's friends, community, something. Because things are really bad. Oh God, you're so negative. You're just fear-mongering. 13 years in. Man, those comments. One after another. So, Kelly Kibo, hello. Yeah, he is a sweetheart, Babe. He's very much a sweetheart. Blame it on the Russians. That's what's happening. People are already blaming it on the Russians. Baby boomers, remember growing up? Duck and cover. Remember all the hoopla? We didn't know that our countries were working together. Soviet Union, U.S. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm bored because nothing changes. Oh, sure, the events are different, but everything is essentially the same. Destruction, destruction, destruction. Evil, lying, scapegoating. It gets to the point where maybe I'm just so kind of done with it, right? Aren't you done with the crap? Don't you want something healthy going on? That's up to us to create it, but man, it's very hard. All right, so let me start with the first brain has been implanted with the Neuralink. As if they have to implant anything. But brain games. Musk says, save your brain like a game. That's right. He promises Neuralink will prevent AI extinction. You know, the wiping out of humanity. Well, we're doing a fine job on our own. Artificial intelligence, it'll compete with the two-legged. But hell, man, we're wiping each other out on a daily basis. It is, yeah. Oh, and he's praying here. Okay. So Elon Musk, not only is he saving the First Amendment free speech, as he's censoring people on X, but he's going to save humanity. He's a superhero. Just let Elon Musk have control of everything, and we're all going to be fine. He went into detail about his plans for his Neuralink brain chip. You could probably save state in the brain. So if you were to die, your state could be returned in the form of another human body or a robot body. There could be something analogous to a video game, like a save game situation, where you are able to upload your last state, maybe lose a few memories, but mostly be you. How many of you want to save your brain and put that brain into another body or a robot and hang out longer in hell? I don't. All right. Look, man, we're here. Rogue AI could annihilate mankind if not regulated, warned scientists. Oh, this isn't good, right? It's not good. These scientists, they had... Here, there's other articles on this. Here, artificial intelligence was taught to go rogue for a test. It couldn't be stopped. Researchers programmed various large language models similar to ChatGPT to behave maliciously, and they couldn't get it to stop. Doesn't that mean that AI has already gone rogue and it's just going to be replicating its malicious behavior all over? Oh, the study has not been peer-reviewed. Okay. So, another article, poisoned AI went rogue during training and couldn't be taught to behave again in legitimately scary study. AI researchers found that widely used safety training techniques failed to remove malicious behavior from large language models, and one technique even backfired, teaching the AI to recognize its triggers and better hide its bad behavior from the researchers. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'll put the links in. But yeah, I maintain the two-legged is our main concern, because they sure as hell fighting with each other, destroying one another, not caring, compassion. Where the hell did that go? Oh wow, man. I'm just gonna put in WW knockout H. Knockout I'm sure you'll be able to get it. It was one character over. Yeah, so, okay. What else do we have? This is our life today. Isn't it fabulous? And I'm on Twitter. Of course, it's gonna start. Breaks my heart to report 14 years. And I will not be seeing my beautiful Alaska this year because they have bought up our fish houses and destroyed us with the price alone. We cannot even afford to go fishing for 17 cents per pound for chum salmon. It was $1.15. They are buying up everything. Real fishing life. Yep, two-legged, destroying a whole lot of two-leggeds.
Alright guys, we got their butt. Probably about 50,000-60,000, I'll say. I have a beautiful wood tender from the 1940s pulling up with some really great people on board. Been dealing with them for a long time now. You just got to keep it off the shore and let them pump us out.
I will put the link in. There you go. You can watch the end of the video and hear talk about destroying humanity.
What we see in the sky on a regular basis, these long white trails that do not dissipate, they actually form artificial clouds and block the sun, is an expressed goal of geoengineers.
I want to tell you that we're in very great danger from the pollution that's coming down over us. And we've been led astray by the military-industrial complex, and they're responsible for the cloud's creation and weather manipulation programs.
I sacrificed 4 years of my life defending the people of my country just to come home and find there are greater threats here domestically.
There's something going on. I don't know who it is or why they're doing it. All I can testify is it's not natural and it's not normal.
And there's a lot of argument that aluminum is very common to be found, but aluminum is only common in a bonded form. It's not common in a free form, and we're finding high rates of free aluminum.
Because you can spread so many small little particles through the environment, it dramatically increases the surface area that's in that environment because there's so many of them. When you look up at the sun and you see a white haze, that is aluminum floating in the air right now, and it's coming from the air.
And those were experts. Don't tell the climate change activists that there are actually scientists and climatologists, they're etc., experts on the other side of the equation, and they're disputing. Don't tell them, because they might be destroying more artwork. Alaska sees a record 8 feet pandemic of snow. Pandemic? A pandemic in a region? How does that work? Okay, fine. We just have to keep that word in our mind always. In just 2 months, as roofs collapse. So, Alaska is getting an awful lot of snow, and not everyone is excited about the extensive snowfall. Tamara Flores, an elementary school teacher, described it as miserable and a pandemic of snow. Okay. And last year, heavy snow caused a gym roof to collapse, killing someone underneath. And this year, 3 commercial building roofs have already collapsed due to the weight of the snow. What's happening? Why is it so heavy? Maybe it's all of those metals. Biden welcomes UPS. Union deal that averts strike. Remember that? Yay! Averted a UPS strike. They had a deal. So now everybody's happy, right? Not so fast. Just months after massive labor deal, UPS announces massive layoffs. 12,000 positions. Isn't it interesting? So you avert a strike, or you have a strike, the United Auto Workers, you make a deal, and then a month later you announce thousands of layoffs. That's what's going on. 12,000 management jobs from UPS. And yeah, the Fed prepares for a bank crisis while telling Americans the economy is strong. And if you want to read this article, yeah, go ahead. You know, it's like same old, but, you know, some of the details have changed. What is the Fed doing? The Fed is actually escalating the moral hazard and leaving customers more vulnerable by strong-arming healthy banks to comply with utilizing the Fed Reserve discount window in preparation for future bank crises. That's right. So, you better tap into the Fed's financial lifeline, banks, so you don't go down. And a whole lot of banks that go down might alert the American people that our economy, Bidenomics, really is not. It might alert the American people that everything is a lie. But those who are hardened against ever having adult conversation about what is really taking place, forget about them. They're going to continue believing everything is fine. And U.S. consumer confidence climbs to highest since end of 2021. How does that work? Consumer confidence has been going down, 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 down. Now it's up. What happened? Suddenly, they're all the consumers feeling very confident about the economy. How did that happen? How did that happen? Or is that just another lie? Well, there's nothing to be confident about. Layoffs. Today, PayPal announced 2,500 jobs will be cut. Block, 1,000 layoffs. Comcast, 1,000. Nestle's 200. Calgary-based Enbridge 650. 250 from Channel 4. 450 from Polestar. 500 Flexport. 330 North Fork Southern. 330. Oh, man. And Dutch lightning maker Signify, 1,000. International Walt Disney, 115. Yeah, the economy is just swell, and that's why consumers are so confident. And you did see this, right? The fire. I posted it on my channel, Never Lose Truth. Feathercrest Chicken Farm.
Good God Almighty.
It seems pretty evident that sprinkler systems are not just working anymore, right? There must be sprinkler systems that activate for fire. But maybe these fires are just so massive and they engulf so much of the property that, well, the sprinkler systems don't do a thing? Why do we have so many massive, massive fires? God, you have to wonder, could these be terrorist attacks? And even there are so many apartment buildings, apartment complexes, homes that are, boom, exploding all over the country. Here's just one example.
Big fire in Old Town on Wells Street, and it was getting dangerously close to other homes and businesses. They had to call in extra help to fight this fire in the 4-story apartment building overnight. This is the 1400 block of North Wells Street. There was a lot of fire coming off the top floors. At least 2 people were transported to the hospital. Some were treated on the scene, and a witness said it seemed to flare up suddenly.
There's something going on. Started smelling smoke, and then there's just this place, just huge, just like burning. I don't even understand it. So
Something's going on. I smelled smoke, and all of a sudden, boom! A whole lot of flames erupted suddenly. You gotta wonder. You have to question. And our government ain't helping anyone. Okay? Maui residents still have not received a dime.
It's been over 5 months now, and if you talk to practically any resident that is here at this point, they're incredibly frustrated, and honestly, nothing has gotten better. If anything, it's gotten worse. Okay? The Biden administration has come in here and they're running businesses out of here. The Small Business Administration promised over 5 months ago thousands of people relief loans, and they still have not paid out. So they're forced off the island at this point. They're given every excuse in the book to say, why the money hasn't cleared yet. And, all of it is it's a bunch of BS. And so the people here at this point believe that this is all intentional. And it's really just a way to drive them off the island by choking them out. And it's terrifying to think about that, the government and, FEMA and such are supposed to be helping these people. It's not their fault. They didn't do this. Okay, they're a victim of, at a very minimum, government incompetence that let the fire burn down the entire town. It's not their fault. But now they are totally suffering, and honestly, Clayton, I wish I could say it's getting better. It's not. It's getting worse.
Well, it's amazing to me because during COVID, small business loans, you could get the loan without even, frankly, proving that you even have a business, right? They were sending money out, billions of dollars out to people, but the people of Lahaina somehow can't get access to these loans to help them rebuild. It seems hypocritical. Seems odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely seems odd. And, the fact that we're talking over 5 months at this point, and you're hearing excuses from like the SBA saying, oh, well, it was supposed to clear, but, we had a software update which caused a bunch of problems in our systems. And, oh, well, your loan's being reviewed by a supervisor now, and you should hear back within 1 to 2 months. I mean, it's like, it's almost a joke, and nobody is holding these people accountable. And luckily we have, people like you that are willing to actually air this stuff now, because honestly, the mainstream media is nowhere to be found here. I'm the only guy with a camera at this point. Nobody wants to talk about Lahaina at this point. I guess it's not a sexy story anymore. And so, but what happens in that case, as you very well know, once you stop hassling the government, they're going to totally shaft these people. That's what they do in every situation like this. This is no different.
Well,
and very sad. Extremely sad. Very sad. And I hope you circulate that information because, I'm going to say that probably Lahaina residents are being screwed far more than mainlanders. They're getting nothing. Nothing. Not even any attention on this. It's really... People have to start screaming. Have to start screaming. Here, notorious ransomware gang claims it pulled classified and top secret documents from U.S. intelligence agencies. Well, a claim is just a claim. The group said the data will either be sold or made public. Black Cat is probably a Russian gang, don't you think? It's probably Putin. He's the head of the gang. Technica Corporation has allegedly been breached by ALPHV Black Cat. FBI and other U.S. intelligence agency data has allegedly been stolen. Oh, and we're just going further and further into the digital world. When we get signs that, okay, maybe we should stop. How about Russia? Russia hit with widespread internet outage nationwide. Okay, well, there are people who claim that our grid going down is coming this year. Okay. For some, it's going, obviously, it's going to be painful for everyone. But for some, it's going to be far more painful. So, whatever you can do to develop community, get a social network around in real life, get it going so that when the cyber world is suddenly deleted from your life, you still have real life. Okay. And here, Poland. Polish farmers throwing eggs at the Minister of Agriculture and his colleagues from Lithuania and the Czech Republic. Traitor, you sold us for Ukraine. Well, first of all, it takes a lot of courage to do that. But that's not the American way, because it would be disapproved of. But a whole lot of European countries, I don't know if you know it, but they're out strong. A whole lot. Irish, Scots, Germans, French, Belgium, Spain, a whole lot. Italy, and other countries that I can't. Poland. Carol is not sexy, but her voice sure is. Gee, thank you. So, the border. Take our border back. They have left Jacksonville, Florida.
Very latest. Xavier, is this group, I don't know, up and at 'em for day 2 of traveling now?
Marky, they are up and at 'em. Some people awake this morning, and it is growing as well. This truck actually, just joined in Jacksonville, and the one here to your left, this RV, is the one that is going to be leading the pack, the convoy. This group going to great lengths, driving thousands of miles to highlight the ongoing issue at our southern border. The convoy pulling in late last night, welcomed by dozens of people waving American flags and a band singing the national anthem. One woman even giving the driver of this RV money, gas money. Supporters traveling from places like New Jersey and Missouri, some showing up from Georgia just to be a part of this Take Our Borders Back convoys. You see them pulling in. It comes as the standoff between Texas and the federal government over border enforcement intensifies. That plus the record number of encounters at the border last fiscal year is why Joseph Fulfer, who is streaming this, is driving across the country.
It's affecting my kids. When I'll have grandkids, and this is costing us billions of dollars. And I've been down there for months, and I can tell you the border is wide open.
After leaving Florida, the convoy, you see it here, heads to Louisiana before making stops along border hotspots in Eagle Pass, Texas, Yuma, Arizona, and San Ysidro, California. And that's where organizers say it's really going to pick up steam. And as I point you over here, it's not just RVs and trucks. It is also normal cars as well. That white vehicle there, a woman, I saw her this morning. She slept in it last night, got a few hours of rest, and she said she's getting ready to start driving again in just a couple of hours, Marky.
A lot of Americans that are devoted to this cause. Xavier.
And it's my very real feeling the devotion is sending them into a trap. Here, the Speaker Johnson rejects pending border deal. Illegal crossings must be zero. Don't you think? Illegal crossings must be zero. That's right. Because crossing illegally is illegal. It violates immigration law. Yeah. No. Biden wants 1.5 million to come in a year. The White House now calls the situation at the southern border a crisis. You're kidding. You're kidding. It's true. Biden finally admits crisis at southern border. Wow. You finally did it. The president claims he has no executive authority to fix the disaster he has created. You don't have any executive authority to protect the nation? I thought as commander-in-chief that was your purpose. Okay. This is how stupid Americans are. It is how stupid Americans are. They don't have any clue how the government is supposed to be working, what the roles are, what the duties are, the responsibilities are. Nothing. And when you don't know how your country works, well, then those who are working it can really destroy you. God. Yeah. So, oh my God, I don't mean to offend any individuals. And when I say we, I include myself. The American people are pathetic. It is bona fide. We are mentally ill, pathetic people. Oh my God. Here, I don't know. I have to forget about X because for some reason it just won't work. It just won't work on a live stream. I can't. It was working fine, but now it's not. So, Biden says, I've done all I can do. I've done all I can do. Oh my God. Biden took 94 executive actions in his first 100 days, which created the crisis. Meanwhile, he's blocking the House passed Secure the Border Act.
With executive authority, or is there more you can do absent
I've done all I can do. Just give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people. Give me.
That is under you got the presidency, and those are the responsibilities. Give me the power. Oh, Republicans have stolen your power? Yeah, it's Here, more and more come in, day after day after day, night after night after night.
Ecuador.
¿A qué estado te diriges?
Nueva York.
A Nueva York. ¿Y usted?
Vengo de Ecuador y voy a San Antonio, Texas.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
De Ecuador a Nueva York.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
De Ecuador a Nueva York.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
De Colombia para Miami.
¿Y usted?
De Colombia voy para Chicago.
¿Y usted?
De Colombia voy para Nueva York.
¿Y usted?
India.
Where are you going?
India.
Where are you going?
New York.
Okay, and you?
Indian.
Where are you going?
Seattle.
Seattle. You?
Indian.
Where are you going, sir? Thank you. You?
California.
Where are you going? Where are you from?
India.
India. And you?
India.
What part of India?
Ariana.
Ariana?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
California.
Thank you, sir. And you?
India.
Where are you going?
Indianapolis.
Thank you, sir. And you?
Colombia.
¿A dónde vas?
Utah.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
Colombia.
¿A dónde va?
Miami.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
Colombia.
¿A dónde va?
Chicago.
¿Y usted?
Colombia.
¿A dónde? ¿Y usted?
Colombia.
¿A dónde vas?
Los Ángeles, California.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
Colombia.
¿A dónde vas?
A Los Ángeles.
Gracias. ¿Y usted?
Colombia.
¿A dónde?
Los Ángeles.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Jason.
¿De dónde vienes? ¿De qué parte de Colombia?
Bogotá.
Bogotá. ¿Por qué dejaste Colombia?
Problemas.
¿Y tu familia?
Sí, que vaya.
¿Se calla?
Ajá.
¿Hasta cuándo?
No, yo creo que ya se queda allá.
¿Ya?
Sí.
Solo. Pero,
sí.
Saludos a las muchachas.
Vale.
Where are you from? India. Where are you going?
California.
Okay, and you?
Brazil.
Where are you going?
California.
What do you have on your neck?
A tattoo. So, it is my sense that an awful lot of these military-aged men have already gotten their destinations. They've already received their destinations. So when you get to the border, this is where we need you. What do you think? Okay. This is very troubling. I'd like to think that it's just a fake video for views.
Okay. Put your feet in.
Ma'am, put your feet in so we can close the doors.
Okay. You're going to close the door. You stay right there before we move. Hey, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Back up. Back up. Hold on. Hey, get your foot back in there. Get your foot back in there. Get your foot back in there. Ma'am, we're going to have to tase you. You're not going to like that.
I don't understand what you're telling me.
Put your feet back in there. Bro. We're going to have to secure in a different vehicle. Come on.
Old video or not, doesn't matter. Yeah. AI is nothing to worry about. Nothing you can do with AI. But you would like to think there's something you can do with the two-legged, but there's nothing you can do. Oh, isn't that swell?
Public park, we're allowed to go in there. You should already open the gates. You should put those guns away because it makes everybody crazy and scared. So we don't have to here as a U.S. citizen of this town, we don't have to have you all here with your guns because we know what the real story is. This is just a facade. This is just political theater for Abbott. you understand why the citizens of Eagle Pass, we don't want you guys here. We know the Border Patrol can do their job. The Border Patrol can do what they're trained to do. We don't think y'all need to be here. We're against it.
If you don't mind, step aside so the come out. Make sure you don't get injured.
So
she wants to be able to use the park that she pays taxes for. She's a Mexican-American citizen, and she's right about Abbott. But unfortunately, Border Patrol doing their job? No, they're not doing their job. So I'll put the link in. This is 19 minutes, and she is not happy with what is taking place in Shelby Park, Eagle Pass, Texas. And I don't know if any of you saw this, but man, I actually even listened to this hearing today, and it was just a flippin' joke. How many hearings do we have to have about the border? Why? It's a waste of time. How about holding Biden accountable, Mayorkas accountable, a whole lot of Democrats accountable for their treason? Because that's what we got going on. No, we're going to hold another congressional hearing. But listen to this guy. Pro-invasion globalist Texas State Rep, District 74, Eddie Morales Jr. of Eagle Pass, asked me to post this video. He advocates for more slaves for the American Socialist Empire, and he makes the most inane arguments for allowing all of these migrants, keep the border open. But the guy that's posting this, RGV Truth, is holding his feet to the fire.
I'd like for you to post it.
Okay, I'll post
so
this.
that people can actually see how naive and how you lack the basic fucking ability to hold Congress accountable, man.
Guys, honestly, if you want to really know what's going on, sir, you said you really want to know what's going on and really find solutions, you need to read this book. This is exactly what's happening. This is weaponized migration. From Maduro and everybody else, you absolutely need to read this book.
What's the percentage of migrants that are crossing right now?
Right now, I don't know the actual, I wouldn't know that exact number.
Do you know what the percentage of migrants was in the 1900s when we had the highest number of migrants crossing?
So there was 10 million that have come through recently.
10 million. Do you know what the percentage is?
I don't know the percentage.
You gave me this book, right?
No, I just wanted you to see it. You can take a picture of it. No, it's actually.
I will link below to this. He's equating the immigration that took place in the early 1900s with the invasion that is taking place today. Very different. Very different. But he thinks it's the same, and it's okay. Talk about setting up Americans to be very vulnerable to an awful lot of violence. This guy right here. And here, posted, it was a document. It is a document that is given to illegals crossing the border in California, Chinese illegal migrants. And here's the English translation. I'll just read a little bit of it. Here, welcome to the United States. When our government imprisons you outside without providing you with food, water, medical care, or shelter, some important information. If you find an emergency medical problem, please inform the volunteers of the Border Patrol. You are located in one of the following camps: Moon Valley, Chicumba, Willows, same area, Camp 177 in Jewel Valley Road, the dirt road at the end of Jewel Valley. Please respect the land. Please twist up the garbage and don't burn the vegetation. We don't know how long you will stay here. It may be a few hours or a few days. Provide food, water, and basic medical services twice a day. Twice a day. When you leave here, you may be taken to local processing facilities. We don't know how long it will take you to deal with it. This is an English translation from Chinese, so it doesn't read very smoothly. Be sure to wear warm clothes during detention. Before leaving the place, be sure to turn off your mobile phone. If you travel with your family, you need to inform the Border Patrol. You should not be separated from your spouse or children. Try to be together until you are released from the local processing equipment. You will be released or sent to an immigration detention center or fly to Texas for processing. Most people will be released to locations in San Diego and Riverside County. If you travel with minor children, have medical needs, have physical, intellectual, or developmental disabilities, are infertile over 55 years of age, or LGBTQ+, yeah, a whole lot coming from a whole lot of these countries. Oh, boy. They're just dancing in their high heels, the men. You can choose to go to the shelter. You will be able to stay in the shelter for 1 to 2 days and receive legal, medical, and continuing travel assistance. If you are a single adult or a group of adults, you will be picked up from the detention center of the Border Patrol, taken to a central location. Non-profit organizations there provide food, water, Wi-Fi, continued travel assistance, assistance in finding separated family members, and legal assistance. Before you are ready to travel, you need to pay your own hotel fee. Oh, really? Wow. You must pass the credible fear interview to be released. During this visit, you explained why you returned to your own country. If you do not pass this interview, you may be deported. If you pass the trusted fear interview, you will need to write a letter from a guarantor with legal status in the United States explaining that you can live with them during the asylum application. Well, a whole lot are just released on their own recognizance. What a trip, huh? This is what we're living. Wow. Yeah. Border Patrol sure is doing their job. If you want to listen to this hearing, I'll drop the link. But one of the Democrats goes off. This is a hearing about the border, and she goes off on January 6th. That's all she talks about. January 6th? Really? It's about the border? Okay. Biden's Trojan horse immigration deal would allow another 1.8 million migrants. So, great deal, huh?
in caawa aan fursad u helay madaxweynaha Soomaaliya madaxweyne Xasan Sheikh Maxamuud inaan maanta ku soo dhaweyno Minneapolis aniga iyo madaxweynaha special relationship aan qabnaa aniga adeeraan ugu wacaa asigana gabarteeyu idhahaa madaxweyne sidii qof kasta uu yiri mininkaaga waaye ku soo dhawow Minneapolis aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta madaxweynaheena aad tahay Soomaaliya dadka meeshaan wada joogo dhan waa gurigooda annaga ma dareensannihin in ay naga tahay meel naga fog Soomaaliya wadnaheenay ku nooshahay qalbigeenay ku jirtaa maalin kasta aan ka fikirnaa Soomaaliya
Well, you have to wonder if she's actually representing. This is Ilhan Omar. Is she representing Somalia or her constituents in Minneapolis? Does she just represent the Somalians? Somalia is our home? Oh, I thought she was an American. This is what we get now. So the corruption just continues. Scandal-laden politicians. Scandal hit New York mayor. Fights for political survival. Oh boy. Scandal, scandal, scandal. These politicians of ours are pretty friggin' corrupt. Adams is gripped by a slew of scandals, including a sexual harassment or a sexual assault, along with corruption threatening to derail his ambitions. Yeah. Once seen as a possible Democratic Party presidential contender, that's frightening. The city's second black? Who cares about the color of his skin? Who gives a shit about the color of his skin? Apparently Yahoo News does. FBI and local prosecutors are investigating whether a New York construction firm alleged to have ties to the Turkish government used fronts to donate money to Adams' mayoral election. But listen to this. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo, former governor Andrew Cuomo, who resigned facing his own sexual misconduct accusations in 2021, has suggested to allies he could run for mayor if Adams is overwhelmed by scandal. Cuomo sexually harassed 13 current and former state staffers. Well, when this kind of stuff happens and Cuomo, that there's even a rumor that Cuomo could run for mayor of New York City, that means evil has cemented itself and corruption and the worst of the worst. They've cemented themselves on the stage. We can't get rid of them. And yeah, another one. Miami mayor pushed for no-bid city contract benefiting his private employer's partner. Top aide spent months last year advocating for a little-known software company called N0 to partner with the city, paying the mayor a $20,000 month salary. Let's get this off. Why won't it go off? Okay, it won't go off. Sorry. N0 tracks carbon emissions for companies and governments seeking to become more environmentally friendly. N0's pitch at City Hall had one potentially fatal flaw. The company was selling a service that was already provided by a city employee at no additional cost to taxpayers. I don't care about the taxpayers. I care about my pocket. How much am I going to be getting? That's our fabulous. I can't even think of one politician that is not corrupt. And I'm sure they're out there. There's got to be some. But how about homeless seniors? Still, more and more facing homeless. They're already homeless. This is the biggest shame that we've got going on here in our country. That Americans in these communities are not coming out to protect the seniors. Yeah. Good luck getting into heaven.
Growing number of seniors aging without a home.
But another big part is that people really lose connection to the healthcare system. I'm a primary care physician. I love doing what I do. And what I do is to
understand why it jumps into like 17 and a half minutes in the video.
Crisis within a crisis. Hidden among California's rising unhoused population is a growing number of seniors aging without a home. In the next half hour, you'll meet members of this vulnerable group, see their living conditions, and witness the challenges they face when trying to find help.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Dean. When we think about homelessness, seniors aren't typically the people who come to mind, but data show they are the fastest growing group among the unhoused population. Recently, a new study shows people 55 and older living on the streets make up a third of the unsheltered population here in California. These are not just people who have been homeless for a long time. Many of them are experiencing this for the first time as seniors. According to the California's Homeless Data Integration System, between 2017 and 2021, the number of people 55 and over who sought homelessness services increased 84%. By comparison, people across all ages accessing homeless services increased by 43%. Those seniors are having to face tough choices: food, medicine, or a roof, with many of them on a fixed income and the ever-growing cost of living here in America's finest city. Seniors are faced with harsh living conditions and some very tough choices. Joining me now is NBC San Diego's Amber Frias, who has been researching and reporting on this topic. And Amber, you recently spent a few days meeting members of this vulnerable population and learning about how they fell into homelessness in the first place.
Yeah, that's right, Monica. You know, we often hear that our homeless population just keeps growing. So I wanted to go out there, see why that is, and who these people are, the ones who are ending up on our streets. And in speaking with advocates and just being out there, you know, I came to realize these people are a lot older than what we sometimes assume they are.
Yes, it's interesting to see the face of a topic that we certainly often generalize up close. And they are one of the most vulnerable populations. And Amber, they're facing a harsh new reality.
Yeah, that reality is that working your whole life does not guarantee you'll have a roof over your head. Most of the people I spoke with simply cannot afford housing costs in this city. The majority had it one way or another, either struggle to keep up with rising rent costs or are simply unable to find places to live due to their limited financial resources. As a result, as you pointed out at the top, data shows seniors are indeed the fastest growing group among the homeless population. And with the help of one local activist, I got to spend some time with this growing community to better understand their living conditions and the challenges they face every day.
On a recent morning in the Ridgeview-Webster neighborhood of eastern San Diego, Chuck Scott stopped by to check on his truck. He was with a healthcare worker from a local rehabilitation center where he was staying.
They discharged me from the hospital on Saturday.
What were you in the hospital for?
I fell down right here.
The stay at the center is only temporary. This is what Scott calls home. The 69-year-old has been living out of his truck for the past 2 years.
Well, it's definitely inconvenient, because you gotta go and take showers at people's houses and inconvenience them, and it's not really easy to find places to eat. And it's not very comfortable to sleep in.
Scott hardly stands out from the many people living in their cars at this same parking lot.
As far as the sleeping arrangement, I'll sleep right here and try to move my seat as far back as I can so my legs will stretch up. A lot of times it doesn't work that way. And same with Irene, she'll try to do the same thing.
Frank, who preferred to only go by his first name, and his partner, Irene Rendon, have called their truck home for 6 months.
It's been really, really hard. Real hard to get help. I thought I was on a waiting list for 6 months, and I'm not even on the list, and I thought I had done the footwork, and I just thought the government was going to help homeless people, you know what I mean? Why we have to jump through all these hoops to get housing? They want us off the street and stuff, and it's really hard.
The group, all above the age of 55, find themselves in the middle of a growing crisis, aging without a home.
It's torture.
California accounts for about a third of the nation's homeless population, and among this population, seniors are the fastest growing group. In San Diego, people 55 and older living in the streets make up at least 29% of the unsheltered population, with 80% of them becoming homeless in their own hometown.
These are people that, have lived and worked here in San Diego their entire lives, who have just been priced out of the system and unable to, finish, in essence, in the homes that they had.
Teresa Smith is the CEO of Dreams for Change, a nonprofit running San Diego safe sleeping sites. The 2 designated lots offer safe, legal camping space for people experiencing homelessness. Hundreds of individuals are currently housed, and Smith says at least 45% of them are 55 and older.
I think it's happening more rapidly now, yes, because of the cost inflation and the cost of living. It really is pushing them out of those housing situations, and there's nothing to jump back into. And we have such a shortage of literally senior housing. So even as they start to approach those senior ages, where they may need a little bit more of that support as any other senior would be, there's nowhere that is supportable for them to even go.
That's exactly what happened to Scott, who at one point was living inside his very own 1-bedroom apartment.
My rent went from $800 to $1,600, and I couldn't afford to move back in after they remodeled. So, and they said they give me first choice to move back in, but I can't. I only get $1,000 a month Social Security. So how can I afford to pay $1,600 a month? I can't.
Stories like Scott's are common, especially among the older populations living on the streets.
How often do you see people, of older age, like seniors, like 60, 70, coming into the shelter?
You see a lot of them. A lot of them that need medical attention and stuff like that. And a lot of them that shouldn't even be here should be somewhere else, like convalescent home or something, And it's sad, I'm surprised they ain't got, kids that want to take care of them. Some people are stuck in their old ways of, not trying to get help for themselves, being stubborn. That's how I am, I won't call an ambulance to come and help them. I'll lay there and die. I don't care. That's just me.
Daniel Ofredo is currently living at one of San Diego's safe sleeping sites. He managed being on the streets for the past 20 years until life started catching up to him.
It was more important to give $150 million to Hamas after October 7. More important to give billions and billions to the most corrupt country, Ukraine. Money's going to Taiwan. Lahaina residents, seniors, who cares? There are so many. It's actually less expensive to house people than it is. The money is going to all of these homeless organizations that don't solve the problem at all. So, it is amazing to me It is amazing to me that we're allowing this to happen. It is so. How do you. What are the words that can describe a people that don't care about the elderly and don't care about the young? I don't know. But that's what we've got going. That's what we've got going here. And we have such, man, the anger, and people just taking it out on people that don't deserve it.
Let's take some pictures.
I don't know why you're getting so upset.
Because you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody else leaves the f***ing package at the door. All right?
Dude,
They read the sign, and they take a picture, and it's right by the fence. But not you. You're an idiot. Give me my package and get the f*** out of my property. Come on. You ready? You gonna leave the package or you gonna go?
Are you done?
You wanna call the manager?
Are you done? Dude, take a breath. Seriously.
You're agitating me. Get the f*** out of here.
You were agitated before I came here. So.
Guy, take a picture of the package.
I'm bringing it back. I'm not delivering it.
Okay, then let's call Amazon and
Call Amazon, dude. Like, I don't need your. Like, that's crazy.
You almost came in and got attacked by a dog.
That dog right there.
Yeah,
That's gonna
that
attack
one is
me.
mean. Okay, it's my house. I dictate. Yeah, get off my property. Get off my property. Give me packages.
There's actually more video, so what you just saw.
What the hell is wrong? What is wrong? What is wrong here? Here, people are getting so scammed by people. Oh.
Last week, we told you about a Manatee County woman who filed one claim for a cracked windshield, but ended up with 3 claims and insurance payouts totaling more than $14,000.
Not just a one-off either, because another viewer has called to say that he was involved in a similar situation. That's when he knew he had better call Beckman.
Jen Keith, this viewer not only recounts a nearly identical story of how this happens, I took a close look at the bills and discovered that the company named as the payee in both cases is the same Sarasota company.
Oh, it's nauseating. It's just out and out thievery.
In 2022, Marvin Chevro says a crack in his windshield was repaired through his insurance company. Nearly a year later, he says he received a call from someone who claimed to be with the auto glass company, wanting to fix the glass again under a recall.
I thought I was doing my due diligence by asking if there was going to be a charge for this, and they reassured me that there wasn't going to be a charge, that it was underneath the recall.
Well, there was a charge after all. He recently learned his insurance company, Farmers, was billed $6,108 for the second windshield. Marvin says his signature was forged on the work authorization. His insurance skyrocketed, and he says he had to lower his coverage to afford it. Do you feel duped?
Oh, absolutely. I think I've been duped, and the whole industry has been duped.
What did you think when you saw the $6,000 bill with your supposed initials on it?
Well, I was angry because that means that I endorsed it. Someone's representing myself as a fraudulent activity. And I know auto glass doesn't cost $6,000 to replace. It's $400 to $600 is a customary amount, not $6,000.
Sound familiar? Just last week, Colleen Hernandez called me about a similar problem. Farmers Insurance was billed for 2 windshields that she says she was told were covered under a recall. Both Marvin and Colleen's invoices are from a company called the Florida Auto Glass Guys, LLC.
So I called them up and said, I didn't approve this $6,000 charge. That's not my signature, and then click.
The Florida Auto Glass Guys is based in Sarasota, according to state records. So I took Marvin and Colleen's bills to their office. There was no sign, but windows were covered with pictures of auto glass. I saw someone walk inside and lock the door. When I knocked, no one answered, so I called. No one has called me back. I reached out to farmers last week and was told that they are working to resolve this matter with Colleen.
They're working to resolve the matter. Oh my God. These are just examples. You know, I'd love to say, well, it's just in spots of the... No, this has grown so out of control with Americans who are screwing over Americans. And it's... obviously, people just feel like they have a right to do it, and then try to get in touch with them, and they just ignore everything. This means that your society is not well and is going down. So, Israel, wow, man. And wars. But first, I don't know if any of you saw this, but I think take away the teleprompter, and these people just don't know how to speak. They don't know how to communicate without reading words provided to them from somebody else.
What I will say, obviously our deepest condolences go out, and our heartfelt condolences go out to the families who lost three folks who are military folks, who are brave, who are always fighting, who are fighting on behalf of this administration, of the American people. Obviously, more importantly, we lost those souls. What I will say, obviously our deepest condolences go out, and our heartfelt condolences go out to the families who lost three folks who are military folks, who are brave, who are always fighting, who are fighting on behalf of this administration, of...
They're fighting on behalf of this administration? Well, that's true, actually. She did state a truism. You're not fighting to keep Americans safe. You're not fighting for the Constitution, or you're fighting for an administration overseas while you're stealing their oil. You're protecting oil bases in another country that are not ours. You're stealing. This is the American way. Just steal. However much you can. It is disgusting. Moment of no return imminent. What? Moment of no return imminent, as Biden has decided on response, says Iran supplied weapons used in attacks. So, you know how many countries we sell weapons to? Yeah. In fact, Hamas has used American and Israeli weapons. Israel uses American weapons. ISIS is supplied. The cartel has been supplied. Biden said the White House sees Iran as responsible for supplying the weapons used in the drone strike on Tower 22 base, along with the Jordan-Syria border, an attack which also saw 40 American troops injured and 3 dead. Okay. Again, I read articles about how there was no way that those missiles could have come in to that Tower 22 base without the Americans allowing them to come in. Okay, so we all know, false flag, right? Okay. But, yeah. Oh. He holds Iran responsible. Iran says they have nothing to do with it. Countries sell weapons to other countries. And it's... Oh my God, the hypocrisy is... I feel like we're just being buried in shit. Nuland. Victoria. Nuland. We're hearing from that disgusting war beast. Nuland sets the record straight on U.S. forever occupation, a forever occupation of Syria. We should not be in Syria, but there we are. For several days, there has been a flurry of reports in both independent and mainstream media outlets suggesting the U.S. could finally withdraw American troops from Iraq and Syria. I haven't seen any of those reports. Have any of you? I haven't. Foreign Policy reported last Wednesday that the White House is actively reviewing and reconsidering the troop presence after years, a very long occupation of Syria. But no definitive decision has been made to leave. This is such crap. There had not been any serious reporting or debate on a plan to withdraw from Syria, going back to the middle of the Trump administration when President Trump pointed out that troops were there to secure the oil. Not our oil, Syria's oil that we are stealing. God. Top Biden administration officials sought to definitively dispel the substantial rumors that an Iraq or Syria withdrawal could be around the corner, and it was Victoria, fuck the EU Nuland. Remember that? 2014, Ukraine. She said, well, first let me set the record straight. The United States is not withdrawing from Syria. Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, Victoria Nuland, who finally coughed up that, okay, fine, yes, the U.S. does have labs in the Ukraine, experimental labs, bio labs. Oh, man. After the killings of 3 U.S. troops, top State Department official Victoria Nuland declares USA is not withdrawing from Syria. She adds that the U.S. needs to stay to fight ISIS, the creation of the U.S., and we ain't fighting ISIS. How is it that the U.S. military can't defeat ISIS? It's still going on. Boy, how many... Is it decades now? Really? So, could you maybe think, the U.S. needs ISIS to continue occupying countries and continue stealing their oil? Maybe? Consider it. Just a minute or two. You can consider that. Pentagon documents show that this is a lie. The U.S. is barely fighting ISIS. In fact, the U.S. has let ISIS grow when it can threaten the Syrian government. And CNN Turk writes, the USA is not withdrawing from Syria. That's Vicky Newland. ISIS is still active in many places, and we have been partners in the fight against terrorism for decades. Good job. Good job, U.S. military. In particular, we have been strong partners in the fight against ISIS wherever it is. This needs to continue with Turkey, whether in Iraq or Syria. What a flippin' joke. It's not funny, but that any American can listen to these people and think that they're actually telling the truth is amazing to me. And, you know, the suspension of funds to the United Nations Relief Workers Agency is having a major effect on getting relief to the Palestinians. And it's, you know, an allegation, not even proven yet.
It's not a coincidence that the attack on UNRWA happens after the ICJ ruling. So Israel is trying to discredit the International Court of Justice, and one way of doing it is by rubbishing UNRWA. But UNRWA has fulfilled a heroic role since 1948 in providing health and educational and all other services to the Palestinian refugees. And it is really heartbreaking that Israeli propaganda is now demonizing UNRWA and leading some countries to cut off the aid to UNRWA. So my sympathy and my support is entirely on the side of UNRWA, and I hope it may long continue to do the vital role, to play the vital role it has always played in supporting the Palestinian victims of Israeli aggression.
Oh, come on, man. All right. So, Justin Trudeau immediately cut humanitarian funding to 2.2 million people over unsupported allegations, but he still funds weapons that killed Palestinians daily.
Same day that the ICJ ruled that there is a risk of genocide in Gaza, the Liberals paused funding to UNRWA, which is a lifeline for millions of innocent Palestinians. People will lose their lives. And unbelievably, the Conservative leader has accused 30,000 UNRWA humanitarian workers of being terrorists. He does not deserve to lead. We support an investigation into the 12 former staff, but defunding UNRWA is collective punishment and it is illegal. When will the Liberals stop abandoning Palestinians?
The Honourable Minister for International Development.
Thank you, my colleague, for that important question. These allegations are extremely disturbing and we take them very seriously. We've communicated that to the head of UNRWA, Philippe Lazzarini. What we're doing, which is the prudent thing to do, is to pause funding while this investigation is ongoing. We will continue to be there for Palestinian civilians through working with like-minded partners on the ground, trusted partners who are doing important work to deliver life-saving food, medicine, and other much-needed supplies to the people of Gaza.
You're kidding. Wow. You can say all of that with a straight face. Allegations. UNRWA is one of the biggest employers in the Gaza Strip. I think 13,000 work for that relief agency. And the allegations are against, I think, 12 the allegation, still no evidence, but that they were involved in the attack on October 7th. So you cut off all aid, all funding for all aid going to all Palestinians? Anyone who could see that that's a good move. We have way too many evil people in the world who think that they're good, who are allowing these people to literally kill children. This world has really taken a shape that I'm not liking. The following countries have refused to endorse the ongoing Israeli, US, UK, German genocide in Gaza: Ireland, Scotland, Norway, Spain. They will continue funding. And here.
Genocide too, in the £2,000 bomb. You're speaking about the genocidal language. There's evidence of a genocide too, in the £2,000 bombs being dropped indiscriminately in their hundreds, with a lethal blast radius of the equivalent of 58 soccer pitches being dropped on the most densely populated area nearly in the world, with a population of 50% children. So there's, and there's the death toll, there's all of those things.
23,000.
I think we have an obligation under the Genocide Convention to prevent genocide. So starting the process immediately, the preparatory work, is an obligation that Ireland signed up to back in the 70s. You're speaking about the genocidal language. There's evidence of a genocide too, in the 2000.
And the propaganda continues.
Advanced genocide. Watch this. This is bonkers. This is one of the most insane pieces of propaganda that I've seen since October 7th, and there's been many of them.
Really know what happened.
Started over.
You really know what happened on October 7th. You've been lied to. We all have. Palestinians didn't behead babies.
What? How can they even say that? Yeah, we were there. What?
You were there?
They can deny it all they want, but something can never be erased.
He's pointing to, a grandfather's pointing to a number on his arm that he got in a death camp. It says, from the horror of the Holocaust to the October 7th massacre, denying atrocities committed against Jews is anti-Semitism. This is produced by Cyberwell, an Israeli spirit. And these are 3 former hostages in Gaza with Avigdor Neumann, who was released from Auschwitz in 1945. I mean, I can't even... That is so cynical. And by the way, the video they're watching on their phone was by Propaganda and Company. Many of you might follow them on Twitter. An explainer they did based on our reporting on October 7th and just all the lies Israel told.
Yeah, one of those lies was that talking about one of the victims on October 7th being someone with a number tattooed on their arm as if they were a Holocaust survivor. And that was recently fact-checked on Israeli television as being yet another lie. And we can show that clip, although it would require us to translate it for our audio audience. But Israeli television recently did this debunking of several critical lies told by Israeli soldiers and officials in the aftermath of October 7th. And that was one of them. And of course, that lie was repeated around the world, that this Israeli soldier coming across a victim who with a number tattooed on their arms, that suggesting that they were a Holocaust survivor, turned out to be a complete fabrication.
Well, I got that video up, but let me just say about that last video. I mean, while it's kind of an honor to have our work or an explainer of our work identified as such a threat to the Israeli narrative on October 7th, this video is one of the most dangerous pieces of propaganda because it's equating proven lies by Israel to documented facts about crimes committed against Jews during World War II when they were subjected to genocide. So this piece of propaganda is actually fodder for Holocaust deniers. And you see it. I do see it on social media. Holocaust deniers are saying, look at how much the Israelis, or they'll even say how much the Jews have lied about October 7th. Do you think they lied about anything else? And Israel and Zionists and Zionism are happy with that because anti-Semitism is the fuel for Zionism. It is the oil of Israel's occupation machine. It's really the only thing that can justify the preservation of an exclusivist Jewish state and the permanent warehousing of Palestinians is the presence of anti-Semitism. So they actually want to spread Holocaust denial. They want anti-Semitism to be not only a fact of life, but to spread and grow. And that's what's so disgusting about this ad.
And equating Zionism with Judaism. Still going on, still going on, still going on. But, you know, the difference between today and yesterday is that we do have the internet. And access to real, truthful information is still available if people choose to research it. But the indoctrination, the inculcation, so intense, can't bust through that wall. Yeah, it's truly disgusting what this world has become. And yeah, you listen to Biden, who, this is 2020. Oh my God.
The world has changed because what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to a war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election. The world has changed.
Trump getting us into a war with Iran? Now, that may very well be true because Trump, he doesn't seek congressional authorization for his bombing. He doesn't even want the evidence. How about his fabulous display? And it was a week into being the president. I don't know how long, but he was president. Boom. He's bombing Syria. Assad using chemical weapons against his own people. They repeat the same narrative, too. And then Trump just, boom. That's it. And it called Assad the most outrageous insults. But Trump also, the drone attacks, he outdid Obama very shortly after he took over office. A whole lot of these Republican awake people, they don't want to hear that. And Nancy Pelosi really, she's getting hit with a lot of people who are disrupting her way of life.
Nancy Pelosi, you are complicit in the Israeli crime of genocide. I'm an Iraqi refugee, and I watch your government you represent kill 1 million of my people. You killed 70,000 Afghans. And now, over 30,000 Palestinians have died due to your complicity. We demand an end to the Zionist occupation of Palestine. We demand an end to the 17-year-long brutal siege of Gaza to be lifted. We demand an end. End the occupation now. End the occupation now. End the occupation now. End the occupation now.
And everybody there. Oh, Nancy, we'll give you a standing ovation. Ha, 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 ha. Americans are flat out not moral people. They're not good people. And when you listen to this, I mean, it's...
They will move. They will move. The Arabs will move. Why do you say that? If you don't give them, we want to have our hostages then, right? So we don't give them food, we don't give the Arabs anything. They will have to leave. The world will accept them.
Don't give the Arabs any food. And here, St. Thomas Hospital in London displaying images of Palestinian children killed and injured in the current war, which I'm also, it's nice to see this because the hostages have names, but a whole lot of the people who are dying in Gaza, in the West Bank, are, well, they just died. You don't have to know their names. So, these are the children. What we are witnessing is, it is something that I could never have imagined. So then you also have the IDF soldiers, women and men, who are making these mock TikTok videos, the IDF TikTok, laughing about killing. How did we get here? I go on Twitter and it's horrifying to see what is happening. Absolutely horrifying. And it truly amazes me that it goes on every single day. No matter how many people stand up, no matter how many people speak out, the International Court of Justice, stopping this will take the world's people. But there are too many people who are on the side of this killing. And there's an awful lot of people who don't care. And we've demonstrated that with the war on terrorism. All the people that we were killing. Every administration comes in, Republican, Democrat, killing people overseas. Innocent people. And no one cared. I don't know who. You know, I was surrounded by an awful lot of people. They didn't care. And they wanted to believe this delusion that they were over there fighting terrorism so they didn't have to fight it over here. So, it's just horrifying.
So we start this hour in the occupied West Bank, where
I'm not liking this.
So we start this hour in the occupied West Bank, where at least 3 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli troops inside a hospital in Jenin. So this is believed to be the moment when Israeli special forces dressed as doctors and nurses raided the main buildings in the Ibn Sina hospital. The Israeli military infiltrated the city during the night. Sirens have been sounded in Jenin now in expectation of more raids. Charles Stratford is in Ramallah. Charles, so we have this footage now, the CCTV footage. Run us through what happened.
Well, we've been speaking to hospital staff there at the Ibn Sina medical facility in Jenin in the northern occupied West Bank. They're telling us that in the early hours of the morning, 2 civilian vehicles arrived at the hospital entrance. And those soldiers that you see in that, what we understand is CCTV footage, Israeli soldiers disguised as medical staff and seemingly civilians as well, heavily armed, came into the hospital, obviously on a hunting for particular individuals, we understand, being treated inside the hospital. The staff say that at least one of the members of the 3 men that were killed were being treated for injuries that had been incurred a couple of months ago during a previous Israeli army raid. The video footage is harrowing. We see members of this group, one actually carrying a wheelchair, another carrying what seems to be, supposed to be even a baby in some sort of cot. Carrying their rifles, pointing at members of staff as they come through the hospital corridors, hunting for these members of the armed resistance. Now, there has been a statement put out by the Jenin Battalion. Now, this is, the Jenin Brigade. This comprises of various different groups of the armed resistance, including Hamas and Islamic Jihad. They're saying that Mohammed Walid Jalumni was a commander in Hamas, 27 years old. They're saying that Bassel Ayman al-Ghazawi was also a commander, we understand, in Islamic Jihad. And Mohammed Ayman Ghazawi was another commander, we also understand, in Islamic Jihad. Now, this is the first time since October the 7th that we have seen such a thing happen. We've seen the Israeli army pretty much every night are very concerned about fighters hiding in these hospitals, and we've seen these hospitals be surrounded on a number of occasions, also come under attack. We visited a hospital in Jenin only about a month ago, speaking to staff there. They showed us video footage of tear gas being fired inside these hospitals as the Israeli army tried to prevent medics and patients getting inside these medical facilities. But of course, this is a civilian medical institution, and there are many people inside this hospital who are being treated for illnesses and injuries that have been incurred during these nightly raids. Now, the Israeli army has put a statement out. I'll just read it to you, some of the things they've said. They've said that a Hamas terrorist cell that was inside the Ibn Sina hospital in Jenin had planned to carry out a terror attack in the immediate period, had been neutralized. It goes on to say that Mohammed Jalumni, one of those killed, 27-year-old, had contacts, according to this statement, with Hamas, what it describes as headquarters abroad. It's unclear as to what it's referring to there. The statement says that Jalamne had transferred weapons and ammunition to what it describes as terrorists in order to promote the shooting attacks and planned a raid inspired by the October the 7th Hamas attacks inside Israel. And it goes on to condemn what it describes as terrorists of using civilian institutions and facilities as shields to avoid, obviously, being arrested. Of course, Jenin has been targeted time and time again over the last 4 months. Many people inside Jenin killed, thousands, potentially up to thousands, arrested inside the city. But it shows you the determination now and the brazen focus, if you like, of what seem to be Israeli special forces in carrying out their mission, determined now to find these commanders of the armed resistance and to take them out. But one can only imagine how terrified the other patients and the hospital staff inside that hospital are as this raid happened. There has been a statement by the Palestinian Authority as well, the Palestinian Health Ministry, and that statement, I'll read you that. It says, "We call on the United Nations and international institutions to provide protection for treatment and ambulance centres immediately." This is a very worrying development because, of course, there are hospitals treating wounded right the way across the occupied West Bank. As these nightly raids continue, these 3 latest deaths mean now that 382 Palestinians have been killed since October the 7th in these nightly and sometimes daily Israeli army attacks right the way.
They want all of Palestine. So, oh, absolutely. SCDHL. A whole lot of hospitals, illegal immigrants clogging up the emergency rooms while residents are being shafted. Pedro says, listen to Bill Cooper's programs, The Assassins. Yep. So, what you do have control over is how you live, how you operate in your own communities. That's what you have control over. And yes, we need to manifest goodness in the world. Every individual needs to manifest goodness, and we need those individuals in the aggregate, of course. But doesn't mean that because you see an awful lot of people not doing that, that doesn't give you the excuse to not do it. So, thank you for showing up. I hope to see you tomorrow night. Stay safe. Things are getting pretty hairy out there. We could literally be heading into World War III, the official World War III, very soon. And do not think it's not going to come to American shores. So, wow. Life. All right. Help those that you can. Extend yourself. Don't wait to be asked. Get involved in your community. Find out what's happening with the senior centers, assisted living, the shelters, the animal shelters. There's an awful lot that we could be doing. So, that's how we manifest goodness. Alrighty. On that note, I say good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.